Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Ken Kitts, President of the University of North Alabama, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff of UNA, I welcome you to this, our 2017 mid-year commencement for the College of Business and the College of Education and Human Sciences. Let us begin by bowing our heads for a moment of silence as we give thanks for our many blessings this year and for these special graduates here this afternoon. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. This ceremony is a very special time for each graduate and his or her family and friends. To maintain the dignity of this distinctive occasion and out of respect for all of our graduates, we ask that you please silence cell phones, refrain from clapping or cheering until the end of the program, and remain seated until the ceremony is ended so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced. Commencement is a celebration of academic attainment. To bring greetings to you from the academic community of the University of North Alabama, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ross Alexander.
Thank you, President Kitts. I, too, welcome all of you. On behalf of the faculty and staff at the University of North Alabama, I congratulate all of our graduates for this momentous accomplishment. The most recent data indicates that approximately 24% of Alabama residents 25 or older possess a baccalaureate degree or higher. Nationally, the percentage is 30%. For graduate degrees, the national average is 12%, with 8% of Alabama residents possessing a graduate degree. Therefore, you can take great pride in earning your degree from UNA as it distinguishes you in the global marketplace. As most of you know, the University of North Alabama enjoys a long history, tracing its origins to LaGrange College, which was established in 1830. This ceremony marks the 150th mid-year commencement. There are 525 in your graduating class this semester. With the addition of this graduating class, you are now part of a total of 60,145 students who have graduated from UNA. Today's graduates represent 19 states, including Alabama, and 9 countries. UNA alumni have forged distinguished careers, including a Pulitzer Prize winner for literature, a Grammy Award winner, 2 Alabama governors, a Texas governor, numerous members of the U.S. Congress, a special assistant to the President of the United States, and numerous leaders in business and public service. Your fellow graduates have gone on to attain distinction in their chosen fields, and I know each of you will do the same. Regardless of your chosen career, I urge each of you to find a way to make a positive impact in your community and in the world. Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
I would like to introduce now several groups of people who are celebrating this special occasion with you. Please hold your applause until each group has been introduced. Beginning with our stage party, I ask the following individuals to stand when their name is called. Dr. Greg Carnes, Dean of the College of Business, Dr. Donna Lafort, Dean of the College of Education and Human Sciences, Ms. Amber Fight Morgan, University Attorney and Chief Diversity Officer, Mr. Mark Linder, Director of Athletics, Dr. Debbie Shaw, Vice President for University Advancement, Mr. Evan Thornton, Vice President for Business and Financial Affairs. Continuing on the front row, Dr. Dan Halleck, Faculty Senate President and today's Mace Bearer, Mr. Todd Wallett, Member, UNA Board of Trustees, Dr. Ross Alexander, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Mr. Jonathan Pettis, our guest speaker today, who will be formally recognized later in the program, Dr. Jeffrey Bibby, Chair of the History Department, who will assist with the presentation of graduates, and Mr. Ron Patterson, our Chief Enrollment Officer. Please join me in welcoming the stage party. I'd like to note that we are also joined today by various faculty members representing the College of Business and the College of Education and Human Sciences. Colleagues, thank you for being here today. There's also many members of the UNA staff scattered throughout this room and working very hard behind the scenes to facilitate and support this commencement ceremony. We're joined today by members of the UNA Wind Ensemble, led by Dr. Lloyd Jones. Thank you so much for participating today. And we're also pleased to have family and special guest of Mr. Jonathan Pettis. Thank you all for joining us. With regard to today's speaker, graduates, 30 years ago, today's guest speaker was one of you, sitting where you are today. A native of nearby Killen, Jonathan Pettis graduated from UNA with degrees in secondary education and math and computer science and history. He taught math and computer programming and coached basketball at Coffee High School for a couple of years before his career shifted more into information technology. And this eventually led him to join NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville in 1991. You can see in your program the array of growing responsibilities there that eventually led to his appointment as Chief Information Officer of NASA in Washington, D.C. From D.C., he eventually found his way back to Alabama, and he currently serves as Associate Director of the Marshall Space Flight Center. Over the years, Mr. Pettis has been involved with the International Space Station, the Space Shuttle program, the New Space Launch System, and NASA's operations in Russia. Mr. Pettis has received numerous commendations from NASA for success in his field, as well as the federal government's Meritorious Presidential Rank Award in 2008 and the Distinguished Presidential Rank Award in 2010. Mr. Pettis, his wife Angela, and their family now reside in Athens, and we're delighted that he could return to his alma mater to speak with you today. Please join me in giving a warm lion welcome to Mr. Jonathan Pettis.
Thank you, President Kitts. Wow, what an honor to be here. President Kitts, faculty, graduates, and guests, it's such an honor, as I said, to be asked to come back here to my alma mater and to share this great day with you. To the graduates, it's been almost exactly 30 years to this day that I sat where you sat. I remember the pride of knowing I'd achieved an important milestone, the joy of celebrating that milestone with the friends that I'd made in school here, over my time at the university, and honestly, a mix of excitement, hope, and fear about what the future might hold. See, you young people, you have no idea what a scary world it was back in 1987. I was graduating into a world of economic uncertainty, a country deeply divided politically over things like tax cuts, whether we had a good president or a bad president. We lived with the threat of a nuclear attack from another country, the threat of terrorist attacks, and new technologies like the personal computer were having a major disruptive effect on business and jobs. Sound familiar? So having been in your shoes, I want to try and share some thoughts in the next few minutes that at least might ease some of the angst that some of you may be feeling. When I first received the invitation to do this from President Kitts, I was so honored and excited to be asked, but I did wonder, what had I done to deserve such an honor? It first occurred to me that it had to be my illustrious academic achievements while I was here at the university. In just a few moments, as is tradition, the university will recognize that graduating senior with the highest GPA in their class as the recipient of the coveted Keller Key. I'm proud to tell you that on my graduation 30 years ago, I took home the Keller Key. You can clap. Thank you. Now, there is one minor detail that I left out. You see, I graduated with my then fiance and now my wife of 30 years, Angela, and she had the highest GPA, and she won the Keller Key. But we did ride together, and I did take her home. So technically, I took home the Keller Key. However, I do believe I deserve some credit for the intelligence to marry someone way smarter than me. And students, that's your first life tip. Marry up. By the way, it's nice to finally be at a UNA graduation and get some attention. I actually had my picture made with President Kitts this morning. On my big day 30 years ago, just after the ceremony, Angela and I were down front, and the university photographer said, "Sir, I don't know who you are, but would you move out of the way so we could get a picture of the Keller Key winner with the president?" Which I kind of understood, but then my mom and dad said, "Jonathan, would you mind getting out of the way so we could get a picture of Angela with her Keller Key?" Today, as we were driving over this morning, I asked Angela, I said, "In your wildest dreams 30 years ago, could you have ever imagined that I'd be coming back here today and doing the commencement address?" And Angela said, "Jonathan, I hate to break it to you, but you're not in my wildest dreams." She has a way of keeping me humble. So I must conclude, I probably wasn't asked here because of my academic accomplishments, but I think I know why I'm here. This honor has fallen on me because of the great organization and team that I've been a part of. I am so blessed to be part of the NASA team, an organization with such a lofty and incredible mission. I get to work with people who do amazing things. People at Marshall built and tested the Saturn V rocket that took us to the moon. They built the propulsion systems that powered the space shuttle for 135 launches over a 30-year period. And today I work with people who built the International Space Station that's flying above us right now, 250 miles overhead, traveling at 17,000 miles an hour, so fast that it orbits the Earth every 92 minutes. We have 6 crew members there today from the United States, Italy, and Russia. They're living and working up there right now. And the space station has been occupied continuously for 17 years. So there'll be students graduating this spring from high school that their whole life someone's been living and working in space. I get to work with people who built and still manage the Hubble Space Telescope that enables us to peer deep into the heart of the universe and see it as it was 13 billion years ago. I work with people who manage the New Horizons mission, where we built and launched a spacecraft that traveled 3 billion miles, that's 3 billion miles over a 9-year period, to the planet Pluto. And yes, when I was in school at UNA, that was a planet. Pluto was a planet, and so I still call it a planet. And that night of the Pluto flyby, it flew within 7,000 miles of the surface of the planet, and it beamed back some magnificent pictures. You may remember it from a couple of years ago. And I'll admit, sometimes I try to impress I'm like most guys, I try to impress my family and my wife at times about the work that I do. So on that night, I told Angela, I said, isn't it amazing that we built a data network that can enable a spacecraft that's 3 billion miles away to send images back to this planet? And she said, Jonathan, that's really good. So if you're so smart, how about seeing if you can get that Wi-Fi router in our living room to reach upstairs like I've been asking you? And now we're working on the next great American rocket, one that will put the moon, Mars, and other deep space worlds within the reach of humankind. It's called the Space Launch System, or SLS, and it will be the most powerful rocket ever created. When fully assembled on the launch pad, SLS will stand over 325 feet tall and be capable of generating 8.8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. That's the equivalent of 160,000 Corvette engines. You want to be down at the Cape when that lifts off. We're just finishing manufacturing all the major flight hardware for its first mission and now testing the components to ensure the rocket's ready to launch actually 2 years from this month in 2019. It will give the United States a capability to take humans deeper in space than we've ever been, give us the ability to have a transportation platform to go back to the moon, and hopefully a gateway in the future to take us on to Mars. So I'm here not really because of what I've done or achieved, but because I'm part of NASA, part of a team that has achieved so much through the years and continues to dream about what might be possible in the future. So given that, what can I share with you that might be of some benefit as you head out into your future? Consider that new rocket, the Space Launch System we're building. What's the purpose of a rocket, and what does it take for it to achieve its mission? A rocket's purpose is to overcome the force of gravity and lift its payload, including human beings, beyond Earth's atmosphere and toward a destination in space. Doesn't that kind of fit with where you students are right now? You're all like rockets sitting on the launch pad. You have yet untested potential to go to places that you can't even imagine. But what will it take for you to get there? It might be helpful to think about what it takes for a rocket to achieve mission success. First, you need a launching pad that provides you a stable starting point. I believe that whether you've lived a charmed life up to this point or overcome very difficult circumstances to get here, you've all made it here to graduation day. I have so much respect for this university and what it meant to me. I really didn't appreciate how much I learned and how I grew while I was here, but now I can see it. For me, it was a place where professors actually knew my name, like Dr. Patricia Roden, Dr. Eddie Joe Bracken. They still know my name today. It was a place that challenged me, where I could learn and learned how to study and about how to work, and that there were consequences when I didn't. I remember paying a required visit to my counselor midway through the first semester of my sophomore year. I was expecting to get congratulated for a solid low B average. He looked at my grades and my ACT score and he said, Mr. Pettis, it appears to me that you're underachieving. He asked, are you okay with not doing your best? It's not the numeric score or your grades that matter, but it's a question of, are you okay with mediocrity? Just something for you to think about. That feedback was short and tough, but it had a lasting impact on me. I don't think I made another B the rest of my college career, but that really wasn't what was important. What was important was learning that it was my decision whether to accept mediocrity or work toward excellence. And as I walk around campus today and see how it's grown and improved, and I see these students, I can see that this place is still about excellence. I know that this university has provided you with an opportunity to learn in the classroom and mature as a person through your experiences here. You should have confidence as you graduate today that you are prepared and ready for launch. UNA has provided you with a great launching pad. The second thing that a rocket needs is fuel. Two of the most important pieces of that new rocket we're building are the liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen fuel tanks. They're huge, and they provide the fuel necessary to lift a 5.5 million pound rocket off the Earth and into space. You too will need fuel for your journey. It's going to come from people around you that you learn from, that give you energy, encouragement, love, and support to help you along the way. Look around here. I bet some of your best sources of fuel are here to see you today. Don't take them for granted. One example of someone who helped me fuel my tank was a man named Harlan Hill. Some of you may have heard of him. He graduated from this university when it was Florence State Teachers College, and he went on to star for the Chicago Bears and the NFL. He was Rookie of the Year in 1954 and Most Valuable Player in 1955, but I knew him as my principal and coach at Brooks High School. Coach Hill helped fuel my rocket by teaching me that the importance of focusing on what you can control and not obsessing over things you can't. He would constantly remind us that there are two things in life we can control: our attitude and our effort. He said to work on a positive mindset, and it was okay to fail, but it was never okay to be outworked. When you remember teaching like that from 35 years ago, that's real fuel. And don't be fooled by false fuel sources. The real fuel sources that you can count on are the ones that are around you, those people that are there for you when times are tough, when you need a boost. The third thing that a rocket needs for a successful mission is fire. That's probably the image we think of most when we think of a rocket, the fire blasting from the engine nozzles. That fire is essentially creating the force necessary to propel the rocket through Earth's gravity and into space. You can reach your greatest potential when you find your fire or passion. I'm thankful for my mom and my dad, Brenda and Ronald. They're here today. They graduated from this university as well a long time ago, and they're retired school teachers, and they helped nurture in me a fire or passion from an early age. Some of my earliest memories are Mom and Dad watching the Apollo moon landings with me. Mom would read me books about space before bed, and they threw me a NASA-themed birthday party when I was 5 years old. Dad took me over to see the Space Shuttle Enterprise. It was the first one when it came to Huntsville for the first time when I was in middle school. My parents sparked a fire that has carried me on my journey, and it still does to this day. But you know, fire is both the necessity of spaceflight, but it's also the biggest risk in spaceflight. Fire can lead to disaster. On a cold January day in 1986, I was driving back to campus for my data structures class over here across the street, up the hill in the math building. I'd gone out for a burger for lunch, and just as I returned back to campus, I heard the news on the radio that the Space Shuttle Challenger had exploded as it climbed into the sky. We lost 7 brave astronauts that day. I remember us all sitting in class, wondering what our professor, Dr. Oscar Beck, would do. He came in and he said, "You've all probably heard the news today regarding the space shuttle." And he went on to tell us he had friends at Marshall, friends that worked at Marshall and worked on the space shuttle program, including some former students, and that we should remember all of them because this was going to be a tough day. We wondered if he would cancel class, but I remember him saying that the best way we could honor their loss was to spend the next 90 minutes learning and working to get better. He was basically modeling what NASA and the country would do in response to that tragedy. Don't quit, learn from our mistakes, and go back to work. Dr. Beck taught us about a lot more than data structures that day, and I'll never forget it. What the crew of the Challenger knew was that our greatest experiences and accomplishments come when we are willing to take risk. If we wanted to completely eliminate the risk of spaceflight, we'd never light the rocket. We'd be safe, but we wouldn't go anywhere. And that's the way life works too. Find your passion, be willing to take a risk to fulfill it, and when you fail, learn from it and move on. A rocket also needs a guidance and navigation system in order to keep it on track and adjust course when necessary. Make no mistake, this may or may not be the end of your formal education, but you guys are going to need to keep learning your entire life. Be curious and remain agile. Most every field is being disrupted and impacted by technology and societal changes. You need to be open to new ideas, new approaches, and new information. You need to be able to take those things that you learn, feed them into your flight computer, adjust course, and continue on your journey. And all along the way, I think it's critical to have a guide to believe in and follow that's bigger than yourself, something bigger than you. For me, it's a faith that we all have a final destination that's not attainable through human effort, but only through the grace of God. And finally, a rocket needs a destination or a purpose. And you're going to need one too. Last week, I had the incredible honor of spending the better part of a day with Dr. Harrison Schmitt. He's 82 years old, and he's the last living man to have walked on the moon as part of Apollo 17. He was at Marshall to celebrate the 45th anniversary of Apollo 17, and I got a chance to spend some time with him. And we talked about the legacy of the Apollo program and how it is such a perfect example of what humans can do when we are all unified and committed to a clear purpose, even when that destination seems impossible. You know, there are lots of good reasons to explore space. There are scientific benefits, defense benefits, and economic benefits, and those are all important. But I think the greatest benefit might be a bit more abstract. I think we explore because it inspires us. At a time when it feels like so much divides us, exploring space, seeing a successful rocket launch, seeing the view of Earth from the space station, or a close-up picture of Pluto reminds us of what we humans can do and who we can be when we're at our best. What does that have to do with you finding your purpose? Right now, in our country, you know, we have a lot that divides us. But this great experiment that we're all part of, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, it's at risk when we can no longer come together around those things that unify us, the principles of life, liberty, freedom, and service to our fellow man. What's the antidote to this? I don't think it's really in electing the right politician or winning the latest argument or creating new laws or programs. I think it's us, people like you, people like me, finding a greater purpose. Maybe our most important purpose is not about what great heights we can achieve in terms of stature, acclaim, or wealth. Someone will leave here today and become a nurse that spends their career caring for people in dark times of illness. Someone will leave here today and become a teacher. They will dedicate their life, like my mom, my dad, my wife, and Coach Hill, to educating and developing young people. Many of you will find success in business and create wealth and opportunities for others. Some will create art or music that inspires and encourages people. Now, these are the kind of things that bring us together and allows this grand experiment to continue. So maybe, just maybe, it's not about how high or far our rocket travels, but how many other rockets we help lift off the launch pad and along their journey. One final note. Last week when I was talking with Harrison, the Apollo 17 astronaut, I told him I was going to be doing this commencement speech. So I asked the last living person to walk on the moon if he had a message for all of you. He thought for a moment and he replied, "Time is relentless, so tell them to make the most of it." And I said, "Harrison, I think you just gave me the last line in my speech. So congratulations, class of 2017. Good luck and Godspeed on your journey."
Thank you, Mr. Pettis, for those wonderful remarks. It's truly an honor to count you as a member of the UNA family. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to again introduce the UNA Wind Ensemble and Miss Jessica Rice for a musical selection.
While the storm clouds gather, for
How do you follow that? Each of the university's college deans will now present candidates for the conferral of their respective degrees. Would Dr. Greg Carnes, Dean of the College of Business, please come forward?
The University of North Alabama had 2 faculty members who retired at the end of the 2017 summer term and has 1 faculty member retiring at the end of the 2017 fall semester who are being honored at this commencement program. Dr. Paulette S. Alexander, Dr. Robert W. Armstrong, and Dr. Thomas E. Coates. Doctors Armstrong and Coates were unable to attend today, but Dr. Alexander will be presented with a certificate of meritorious service that reads as follows. 2, Paulette S. Alexander, member of the faculty, professor, scholar, and friend. Greetings, congratulations, and cordial good wishes from your friends and professional associates, the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the University of North Alabama. We cite you for signal honor on the occasion of your retirement from active duty after long and meritorious service to the university. With this citation, you are appointed by the president of the university to the status of Professor Emeritus with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Would Dr. Paulette S. Alexander please come forward? Dr. Alexander, who served as Associate Dean of the College of Business, Professor of Computer Information Systems, and former Chair of the Department of Computer Sciences and Information Systems, served the university for 36 years, from 1981 to 2017. We thank these dedicated faculty for their service to the University of North Alabama and its students. The Keller Key Award was established as a memorial to the late President James Albert and Mrs. Marilyn Keller. A Keller Key is presented at each commencement to the honor graduate who, on the basis of having earned all credits for the bachelor's degree at this university, has made the highest scholastic average. For the mid-year commencement, the summer and fall graduates are combined to determine the Keller Key recipient. This semester, there are 2 recipients. At this morning's ceremony, a Keller Key was presented to Ms. Caitlin Taylor Spillman. For this afternoon's ceremony, the recipient is Mr. Jacob Cruz Susky. Mr. Susky completed the Bachelor of Business Administration degree with a major in accounting and graduated with a grade point average of 4.0 on a scale of 4.0. He graduated in absentia at the end of the 2017 summer term and, therefore, is not present to receive this award. We congratulate both of these students on their academic success. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Alexander. Now to the conferral of degrees. Each of the university's college deans will present candidates for the conferral of their respective degrees, and I would call on Dr. Greg Carnes, Dean of the College of Business, to please come forward.
As you are able, would candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration please stand and remain standing. President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degree.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you the degree of Master of Business Administration. Please be seated.
As you are able, would candidates for the following undergraduate degrees in the College of Business please stand and remain standing? Bachelor of Business Administration and Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. President Kids, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective baccalaureate degree. Please move the tassel from the right edge to the left edge of your cap. Please be seated. And I would call upon Dr. Donna Lafort, Dean of the College of Education and Human Sciences, to please come forward.
As you are able, would candidates for the following graduate degrees in the College of Education and Human Sciences please stand and remain standing? Education Specialist, Master of Arts, Master of Arts in Education, and Master of Science. President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective graduate degree. Thank you. Please be seated.
As you are able, would candidates for the following undergraduate degrees in the College of Education and Human Sciences please stand and remain standing? Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Education. President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degree.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective baccalaureate degree. Please move the tassel from the right edge to the left edge of your cap. Please be seated. Graduates, you entered Flowers Hall today as students, and now you are alumni of the University of North Alabama. And in that regard, it is appropriate that we invite Aaron Irons, the president of the UNA Alumni Association, to come to the podium to extend greetings to you as alumni.
Thank you, President Kitts. As the UNA National Alumni Association president, it is a pleasure to be here today and to congratulate you on your accomplishments. Let me be the first to welcome you to your Alumni Association. Your involvement with UNA does not have to end here today. I encourage each of you to seek out your fellow alumni wherever life may take you. For those connections, one day, may lead to your dream job. Stay involved through your local area alumni clubs, the Alumni Association, and university events. Get connected by following us online and through social media. Update your contact information along the way. And don't forget about the resources now offered to you as alumni. I remember sitting where you are, thinking to myself, another speaker. Wow, I sure hope they talk fast. So with that said, let me leave you with this. You'll often hear people say it's a jungle out there, and outside of those doors, it truly is. Just remember, lions rule the proverbial jungle, and you are all now part of a very large pride. Roar Lions!
So graduates, all the preliminaries are now over, and we've had our time on the stage. And now we come to the point in the program where it's your time on the stage for individual recognition. And I always ask this question, how does it feel? Okay, yeah, I thought it might feel something like that. At this point, I'll ask the marshals to conduct the candidates to the stage to receive their diplomas. Ladies and gentlemen, you will note that the college deans will offer their congratulations as the graduates exit the stage. Again, everyone, please remain seated until the ceremony has ended so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced. Thank you.
Graduates from the UNA College of Business, Kalisha K. Collins. Azizat Otmatunde Abati. Haitham Naif Al-Amli. Rod Saleh Altima. Nicholas Jeffrey Walton. Katie Lynn Allen. Laura Ashley Reidinger. Philip M. Furlong. Jordan Wayne Conley. Zach Tyler Crowell. Daniel Martin Thompson. Tori Danielle Brown. Gary Clifton Moody. Kim Michael Melee. Benjamin Adams Stanley. Christian Noel Borgeson. Jonathan Patterson. Stephanie Ann Ray. Yi Shi Chen. William Austin Grainer. Christopher Stephen Scott. Jason David Hendricks. Eero Pantazzi Maitarelli. Natasha Jo Parker. Marita Diane Hurley McCullum. Da Zhang. Shin Sando. Harrison Sloan Roberts, magna cum laude. James Wesley Gaskew, magna cum laude. Derek Flynn. Morgan Lowry Birch. Michelle Grace Ray. Duck Wang Ding. Chase Johnston Parks. Jakemia Nashe Barnett. Tika Lachey Shoulders. Christine Dawn Jackson. Kimberly Dawn Williams. Sharon Kumar Timilsina. Wei Wei Zhang. Han Song. Yugli Hu. Zhao Ji. Eugene Michael Johnston III. Nathan Scott Martin, cum laude. Robert Lake Jones. David Heath Nelson LeMay. Alex Jordan Black. Megan Marie Hamilton, cum laude. Casey Allison Alexander. Erica Lachey Pierce, cum laude. Morgan Lorraine McCullough, summa cum laude. Lauren Nicole Blue. Mallory Hayes. Daniel Gregory Morris. Hunt Nao Tram Phan. Haley Drew Jones. Sydney Baker. Tamira Shantae Wilson. Emily Ann Davis. Laura Elizabeth II. Madison McNeil Littrell. Chad Bracken Kitchens. John Britton Holly. Leah Ashley Reinhardt. Jacob Connor Triplett. Dylan Lee Higgins. Samuel Henderson. Jacob Cole Starks. Mr. Starks will have his diploma presented by his father, Dr. Keith Malone, Professor of Economics. Dakota Philip McCluskey. James Todd Grimes, cum laude. Brittany Morgan White. Jessup Stephen Moore. David Elijah Burson. Evan Nance Hotchkiss. Mario O'Shea Brown. Shalala Shanice Cole. Sydney Chase Kay. LaShondra Janae Treadwell. Jaleesa Michelle Hundley. Jara Nicole Reben, summa cum laude. Sean Christopher Leopard, magna cum laude. Caitlin July Cochran. Anastasia Jane Bedard. Cordell Dwayne Lanier. Wesley Keith Balch. Oscar Darnell Dothard. Cameron Agee. Luis Gustavo Monteroso Gramejo. Christopher Allen Sparkman, magna cum laude. Devin Christopher Traglia. John Tyrone Fletcher. Ali Murad, magna cum laude. Taylor Brooke Grubbs, summa cum laude. Melissa Callahan. Meredith Dawn Williams. Reese Austin Flippo, cum laude. Caleb Terrell Morrow. Andrew Kenton Butler. Caleb John Walker. Ryan Legank, cum laude. Joey Austin Moore. Robert Brady Reichard. Kara Janita Holliday. Holly Lynn Hutto, cum laude. Alma Vanessa Salgado. Paula Annabelle Sanchez. Bradley Edward Lanford. Olivera Emeze Ocean Nagabu. Nicholas David Isbell, cum laude. Chao Shu. From the UNA College of Education and Human Sciences, Pamela Michelle Menninger. Melissa Brooks Waddell. Tierica Lewis Hicks. Jessica Hulka McCarley. Jennifer J. Todd. Shayla McRae Bragwell. Marguerite Elizabeth Jones. Melanie Ann Harris. Holly Lynn Jolly. Teresa Mary Houston Cameron. Melissa Sue Russell. Jonathan David Kane. J. Scott Long. Laura Angelica Lopez. Lucinda Marie Britton. Benjamin Thomas Bradford. David Marshall Rosenberger. Zachary Caleb O'Brien. Carrie Lynn Lewis. Catherine Mary Belvin. Chelsea Marie McLean. Catherine Elizabeth Maples. Rosa Cortez Roberts. Brenna Williams Lambert. Laura Wilson Butler. Emily Page Kennedy. Caitlin B. Foster. Benjamin Poirier. Philip E. Woods, Jr. Anna Marie Harrison. Tia E. Anderson. Jackson William Gaddy. Melanie Leonida.
Sarah Catherine Bales. Cody Allen Ringelstein. Megan Elizabeth Sanner. Ashley Dewan Morgan. Sarah Jane McWhorter. Mary Claire Hood. Rebecca Ann Duggar. Lori Anna Lovelace. Mally Cherie Parrish. Lucy Elena Berryman. Aspen Noel Hofstutler. Andrew Clayton Suddeth. Nina Dial. Emily Kathleen Taylor. Danielle Evelyn Russ McCormick. Justice Nicole Gilbert. Shandy Elizabeth Witchen. Mary Elizabeth Willenberg, magna cum laude. Jessica Lynn Hartman, cum laude. Charity Leanne Surratt. Richard Allam Hallam. Amy Christian Nazarchik. Jessica Salinas. DeAndre Coleman. Floyd Lee Jones III. Tyler Lorenzo Smith. Jordan A. Brooks. Patrick Robinson. Rachel Faye Michael. Danae Danielle Lawrence. Macy DeLee Pringle, magna cum laude. Braxton Lee Gilbert. John Micah Cox. Zachary Greek Rogers. Sierra Elizabeth Elston. Madeline Morgan Benford, magna cum laude. Miles David Thomas, magna cum laude. Sarah Taiwan Ingle Bender. Samantha Page Colasar. Madison Claire Jacobs, cum laude. Katie Brooke Green. Ansley Page Madison, cum laude. Amy Michelle Carton, summa cum laude. Hillary Carpenter Terry, cum laude. Miranda Lynn Hanna, summa cum laude. Caroline Rogers Derricott, cum laude. Caitlin Elizabeth Smith, summa cum laude. Dahlia Gerardo Rendon, magna cum laude. Marianne Jewel Yarhouse, cum laude. Sarah Beth Looney. Kimberlyn Deanne Young, magna cum laude. Meredith Lynn Kellenberger. Haley Logan Blankenship. Brooklyn Kayanne Godwin, summa cum laude. Sarah Noel Wilson. Jacqueline Summer Reynolds, cum laude. Jessica Diane McAllister. Bethany Christine Pierce. Cody Scott Wilkerson. Brian Jimenez. Erica Nicole Houston. Heath Elliott Lovell. Kirby M. Banks. Ms. Banks will have her diploma presented by her father, Dr. M. Shane Banks, Department Chair and Associate Professor of Computer Information Systems. Jessica Colglazer, magna cum laude. Ms. Colglazer will have her diploma presented by her father, Mr. Charlton D. James, Associate Professor of Theater. Taylor Elizabeth Putt, magna cum laude. Kayla Sue Harbin, summa cum laude. Rachel Walker Willis, magna cum laude. Ola Marks Cheney. Faith Tuck. John Tyler Gilly. Selena Emerson. Carly Ann Hall. Alexander Bryant Reichard. Christy Michaela Harper, cum laude. Kelsey Taylor Murphy, summa cum laude. Molly Kathleen Ollinger, magna cum laude. Lindsay Ann Monroe, cum laude. Virginia Grace Tucker. Jennifer Elise Perry. Justin Lee Duke. Kara Elizabeth Passur. Danielle Nicole Ori.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me as we honor all graduates with a well-deserved round of applause. If you would, please be seated. And again, that reminder, everyone, please remain in your seats until the end of the ceremony. Graduates, many people, as you know, have helped and supported you to reach this goal of graduation. I invite you now to help me show your appreciation to them. And at this time, I would ask all parents and grandparents and spouses and children and other relatives, please stand so that our graduates can recognize you. Thank them. Other family friends, please stand and be recognized. Thank them, yes. If everyone would please be seated. So graduates, we do commend you for your hard work, personal sacrifices, and the perseverance that have led you to the platform this afternoon to receive your degrees. Folks, know this, we're very proud of you, as are your families and friends. And as you leave this university to make your mark in the world, I have but one simple request for each of you. Carry UNA with you. Carry UNA with you wherever you go. Carry this wonderful university in your heart and in your spirit and in your words. And when you run into fellow alumni of UNA, greet them with that hearty Roar Lions. It's very distinctive, Roar Lions. And know that we send our best wishes to you. I'd like to thank Dr. Ross Alexander, Dr. Jeff Bibby, and Mr. Ron Patterson for their assistance in today's program. And at this point, the audience will please rise and join with the graduating class in the singing of one verse of the Alma Mater. Please remain standing for the recessional.